As you can see, we are back with a bang. But sadly, we're probably gonna leave with a fizzle. I am finally starting to get settled in this new, huge, awesome garage. And I have to move again. Talk about that a little bit later. First, we're gonna talk about what everyone's probably clicked on the thumbnail to come see. I sold the big block, and we'll talk about it today and see if I made money on it or not. So I sold it to a nice gentleman who's going to put it in his Trans Am. He said the Trans Am already had a 454 before he bought it, so he needed a 454 to go into it. So I know normally 454s don't go in Trans Ams, but this one's already set up for it. So hopefully it works out well for him. Now we're going to get into some number mumbo jumbo that we're probably going to lose some people here. But me personally, I'm a numbers guy, so I like looking at all this crap. And seems like some of you are too. The dually video where I talked about if I made money on it or not really went over well. So that's what we're going to do here with this. Now, we'll go back to, if you remember, I sold the dually. And I ended up losing $300 on it. But I was able to keep the Alcoa wheels, the spiked lug nuts for those that were $230, all the tow truck, boom, winch, mast, sling, the big block, the 4L80, the Borg Warner transfer case, and then I traded that transfer case for an SM465 and an NP208, and then that guy still has not come, got the Borg Warner, so it is still here too. I technically still have that. Now, we can look at this a few different ways. First way, I originally had $1,000 into the big block. I could carry that over and continue to have $1,000 into it starting, or since I sold the dually and everything and it ended up being $300. I could just pretend that I had $300 into the big block and everything else ended up being free. Or I could look at it that it cost me $300 and divide everything up equally between all the stuff I listed. I personally chose to do the $300 into the big block way. Everything else is free and broke even on the dually. Big block cost me $300. After that, I put $125 into paint and gaskets to redo it for the new truck. I had to buy new headers because I was going from OBS to square body. Those cost $315. $35 in hardware, $20 for an oil filter adapter, and like $5 at pick and pull on random tidbits for it. So overall, I ended up spending another $500 on the engine. But then when I tried to sell it, I ended up selling the air cleaner for $160, and I sold the old headers for $100. So I ended up actually, instead of putting $500 in, if you take that away, I ended up putting $240 in. So now comes in the guy with the TA. He ended up buying it for $1,000, and I kept the headers. They're for a square body Chevy. They would not work on a TA. So that's how it is. Now, if we look at this in the way that it's a separate entity from the dually, and I carry that original $1,000 over, I had $1,000 into it, and then the $240 I put in, sold it for $1,000. I lost $240, but I did keep the $315 headers, So I either have a $240 set of headers after everything's said and done, or I made $75 off the big block and have a $315 set of headers, if that makes sense. It made sense to me writing it down, but now that I'm saying it, kind of sounds confusing. But it does add up on paper, I think. And if that's the case, then I didn't lose $300 on the dually. I actually made $700 because $1,000 was counted in that, and it wouldn't be on this. But if I do count that $1,000 towards the dually and have the $300 loss on the dually and not the $1,000 into the big block, here's the numbers for that. So if I count the $300 loss on the dually as $300 into the big block, and then the $240 in, I'm only $540 into the big block. I sold it for $1,000. So that's either a $460 profit and some free headers, or a $775 profit on the big block, and I still have a set of headers that cost me $315. So overall, not bad. I still made a little bit of money. Was it worth it for my time to make that little bit of money? Probably not. I did learn a bunch of things along the way. Kept me busy, kept my mind occupied and off of crappy things going on in life. So maybe it was worth it, maybe it wasn't. But at the end of the day, I didn't lose any money, and I made a little bit of money at least, and I now have all this free stuff, which is the way I like to count it, that I started with this much and I ended with this much. Counting it all together, lost $300 on the dually, had that into all my stuff, counted it towards the big block, and then sold the big block, have some free headers, have some free other stuff, and made $460. And now that all that mumbo jumbo is over, that probably confused everybody, and nobody's probably watching anymore, and probably nobody was able to follow along with, unless you're writing it down or you're really good with math in your head. Now that that's all over, let's talk about Frick's Garage, what happened, and what's going on. I had to move out of my last place. The landlord sold. There was a comment on my thing, because I mentioned it before. There was a comment on one of my last videos saying it was really crappy of my landlords to do that to me. I don't blame them. They didn't want to sell. They had to sell. I don't need to get into it. It's none of my business, none of your guys' business. It's just they had to sell. I don't blame them. And they even gave us opportunity to try to buy the place first. We tried to buy it. We just couldn't make it work. We couldn't qualify just yet. We're trying to buy a house, but we're not quite there yet. And we tried to look into rent to own, but it just wasn't working out, and they ended up selling the house. They got a decent offer, and we had to move. So I don't blame them. So then we happened to find and move into this beautiful house with this amazing garage. The house itself is absolutely gorgeous. It is the nicest house I've ever friggin' lived in. It is just amazing. If you want a tour of it, it is on my TikTok. I know some of you probably aren't on TikTok, but if you are, look up Frick's Garage, follow it, and you can see the tour of the beautiful house on there and a little bit more of what's going on with the house. And there's this amazing garage that I'm in, insulated, not heated, sadly, but it is huge. It is 25 by 29. My crew cab long box 1-ton truck is literally tucked in the corner. I have 2 vehicles in here currently, stacks of tires, all my stuff, tool benches, shelves, roommate's motorcycle, and there's still tons of room to work. I could set up a workbench and work in here right now. It is enormous. But the landlord actually didn't buy this place to rent it out. The landlord bought this place to tear it down and turn it into condos. Yeah. So they just wanted to find a quick lease to fill their time. My lease is up in a few months, but we don't want to wait till then because the market's really hard to find a place. We found a place now, so we are bailing. We looked in our lease. We can do that. But sadly, the new place, even though it's a lot more than our last place, and about the same as this place, it has a really tiny garage. Look at this. Yeah, I haven't measured it yet. I'm guessing it's like 8 by 18. I mean, it's not bad. At least it's still something. I could have no garage. I know some people don't. But I've just always had big garages. I have a big truck. I have lots of toolboxes. By the time I get all my toolboxes and cabinets and welder and compressor in there, I don't even know if I'll be able to park a vehicle in there. So, I don't know what's happening with Fricked Garage coming up soon. I have a few videos right now that I've done in here that'll be coming up with the Avalanche and the Pathfinder. Pathfinder looks awesome, by the way, so keep an eye out for those videos. They're probably not going to be that well done. I've been having kind of a crunch for time. It's been taking me forever to try to even just do this video. Hopefully I'll be doing some tow truck Olympic ones. I am so far behind in that and trying to catch up. I think I have some time and may try to do one right after this one. Hopefully I can post both these here soon and then get going on the Pathfinder and Avalanche videos. And then I don't know what's going on after that. If I have some time, I might do some story time videos of vehicles I've owned and cool stories with those or whatever. I'm not sure. And then I have an idea for a cool video series, but that won't be able to take place till spring. So I'm not sure what's going on. YouTube channel might go to crap for a while. I might be posting videos kind of intermittently or not at all for a while. Which really sucks because I was starting to get the followers. I've got the watch time hours. I'm close to being monetized. Like, I was so close moving out 2 months ago, and then all this crap happened. I haven't posted a video in 2 months, and my followers have petered off. And actually, I'm starting to lose some. But hopefully I can gain it back. Hopefully I can get monetized, get at least a little bit of a YouTube income coming in so I can put some money into trucks. Because with these new expensive houses that are a lot more than my last house, not by choice, but just the way the market is, I don't have any money. I have no budget for vehicles right now, or parts, or anything. So I don't know what's going on with my trucks, because I might not be able to work on them for a while. So, yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this. Hope you're able to follow along with my mumbo jumbo of numbers. And hopefully I'll have some videos coming up soon.